Hello everyone, we're here, we're out with the little Honda XL350R, and I'll let you into a little secret. This isn't actually my first ride. I went out with Freddie and Danny the other day and we did the Pedder's Way, which is a really cool off-road route in Norfolk in the UK. It's built on an old Roman road, so there's a lot of off-roading sections. It's very whoopy and bumpy, so it's quite hard work in places if you're not particularly good at off-roading like me, but we had the most amazing day of fun. I think there's a video coming out on Freddie's channel. Depending on when this video goes live, I think there's a video coming out potentially on the same day. So yeah, I'd highly recommend going and checking out Freddie's channel and checking out that video when it's live, because it should be pretty good fun. But yeah, we had an amazing day. The bike was incredible. It felt so good. I've ridden that same route before on my Africa Twin, and due to the quite whoopy nature of it, it's quite hard work on a bike that weighs over 200 kilograms. So this bike was just skipping over all of the little whoops and bumps and tree roots and stuff like that. It was flying along. I was the limiting factor on this bike. I've been finding it quite difficult ergonomically to ride this bike off-road. Sitting down, absolutely fine. I'm comfy, I can, scooch forward in the seat, get my elbows up and just, yeah, I really enjoy it. But as soon as I have to stand up, it's difficult. It's very difficult. I'm about 6'4", 6'5", and so a bike this size, it was not built for me. So my battle over the last week since that ride has been figuring out ways that I can ride standing up and not be absolutely cooked and out of gas personally in the first 15 minutes, because it was, I'll be honest, it was a bit of a struggle. You'll probably see in Freddie's video my energy levels dropping very quickly. But yeah, I've been trying to do some little tweaks here or there just to help me along. So I added some 30mm bar risers, and they're offset risers as well. So they bring the bars 30mm up and then slightly closer towards the front wheel. So it gives me a bit more of a natural standing position rather than having to crouch over super far. I've also installed some larger pegs on the bike, which are a hell of a lot more comfortable rather than the tiny little narrow pegs that come standard on this. I've tilted the controls forward quite a lot so that when I'm standing up I don't get a bent wrist. And what else have I done? I installed a easy clutch system. So I found that when Freddie, Danny and I did our ride, my clutch lever compared to the other boys' bikes is extremely stiff and difficult to pull. And so obviously when you're off-roading, you're constantly feathering the clutch. And so about 5 minutes into the ride, I was getting a diabolical hand cramp. So I've installed this little easy clutch, and it's a little box that sits in line on the clutch cable. And there's a little mechanism inside that basically, I think it's like a pivot type system. So it reduces the resistance on the clutch lever. It makes it a lot easier to pull. So that has been working excellently for me. That feels a lot more comfortable now. But yeah, this little bike, it feels so good. I'm really excited about it. There is, I think, a little bit more tweaking I want to do. Unfortunately, the easy stuff I've sort of covered now. The only other thing that I'm quite keen to think about is whether I can somehow lower the foot pegs just a bit, like an inch and a half, something like that, just to give myself a little bit more room between my feet and the seat so that standing up doesn't feel quite so ridiculous for me. I loom over the bike. I'm always going to loom over the bike. It's just finding easy ways to make it not quite so uncomfortable. Now, it's been raining for the last couple of days, so I'm going to imagine that this grass is a little bit slippy, so I'm just going to take it steady. I am by no means a Chris Birch or a Adam Ryman, so... Oh yeah, bit of mud. Whee! Oh, a lot of mud actually, lovely. Oh, isn't this nice though? But yeah, she just chugs along. She chugs along. I mean, I would never attempt things like this with the Alpha Twin. There's no way. Yeah, it just bashes along, which is so much fun. Oh, little tree stump there, don't want to hit that. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've done to this bike that helps is definitely the easy clutch system. That has been a bit of a game changer for me. I was thinking about new bikes. After I finished this project, I was thinking, would I have more fun with just an off-the-shelf KTM or Husqvarna or something like that? Because I was reading the comments under Freddie's recent video where we were fixing the problems on his XT350. And there was a lot of people in the comments just saying to bin that bike and go buy something new and just have fun. And I do understand that, but there's a part of me that just can't fully get my head around it. I think I have a bit of an affliction for old things, so I am definitely biased when it comes to the subject, but I almost feel like we have a duty of care to keep these old bikes running and fix up old cars. You know, these were the predecessors to the machines that we all love today, all of the modern stuff. It'd almost be like abandoning a grandparent or something like that and just saying, okay, you're old and tired and I'm done with you. It just, I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me. You know, I'm going to get a little bit soppy and sentimental now, but these old vehicles, these old cars and bikes, they do definitely have a soul to me. They have a personality, a character. They've got an intangible quality that newer stuff just doesn't have yet. Maybe it will in future. Maybe it simply needs time. It is as familiar to me as, you know, the palm of my hand. So there is a lot to be said for that. And there is a lot to be said for understanding your machine. Yeah, it's not been without its problems since the rebuild. It's not really its fault. It's kind of my fault. You know, when I installed the bar risers, I made the rookie error of not really checking the cable clearances after I'd installed the risers. So had a bit of a whoopsie with that when I went out on a test ride, and when I went round a corner, the bike started cutting out every single time. So that was particularly fun to diagnose by the roadside, and not embarrassing at all when your bike cuts out in the middle of a busy roundabout and you're left on the side of the roundabout trying to kick it into life, not really knowing what's going on. But basically what was happening was the choke cable was getting activated, was getting pulled when I turned right on the handlebars, which was just killing the bike. So I've rerouted that now, and that's fixed. I initially planned to buy this bike, do it up, take it on this trip, enjoy it for the summer. And then I was thinking I'd probably sell it and, you know, do something else. But I don't think I ever could now. I feel very, very attached to this little bike, and more so than I think I expected I would. And when you think about the relative cost of all of this fun that I've been having with it, you know, I bought the bike for the equivalent of £1,300, and then I think I've spent about 1,200 on all of the parts and paint and stuff like that. And so for a £2,500 bike, I think for the money, it's the most fun bike you could probably buy. I've had the enjoyment of making it my own, painting it the colours I want, doing all of the little tweaks to it that make it fit me, make it feel more right for me. And yeah, for £2,500, I don't think there's many other bikes you could buy. I mean, you couldn't even think about getting a modern bike for £2,500. So yeah, I think this might be a bit of an issue for me, because now I've done this one and I've loved it so much. I think I might look back on this summer and think, oh dear, that's where it all began. That's where this mad journey of just buying and fixing and enjoying things really kicked off. So yeah, I'm very in love with this bike, and I'm really, really excited to take it to our trip in Europe and go make some proper memories with it. There's a bit of trepidation because obviously I've done a fair bit of riding now. I think I've covered about 500 kilometers on it. But a longer international trip is a whole different beast. That's the other joy with it. You know, I am pretty confident that if it goes wrong on the trail, unless it shoots a piston through the engine block, I'm fairly confident that I could probably fix most things with zip ties and, you know, very minimal spares. And that really is the joy in this. It's the simplicity. So I encourage all of you that if you have a slight inkling that you want to find an old bike like this or an old car and dedicate some time to bringing it back from the dead and restoring it, do it. Do it. You're going to love it. It's going to be painful, as I think Freddie is finding out a little bit. That first project you do, it really it really breaks your brain, and you spend a lot of time sat cross-legged thinking, why did I even start this? But you learn so much, and you learn so much about yourself and mechanics and the bike. And when you come out the other end, the appreciation you have for that machine that you've spent all of your time and love and pumped hours and hours into, it's tenfold than if you just went out and bought a brand new bike.